Yes, ma'am.
Tricia York, Public Affairs. In your book, you talk about dealing with millennials
Yes.
and Generation Y. Could you expand upon what kind of tips we can use to deal with those people?
Yes. Which are some of us. Absolutely. You know, it's funny. It's like the older generation always thinks the new generation is crazy. That you know, and I hear this, we would never have said that. We would never have done that. So how do we better understand our audience and millennials? Just a quick note, I was having a coaching conversation with a woman in my office who's a millennial. I adore her. She's a rising star. But I had to introduce her to this piece of newfangled technology that we have at the Grossman Group called the telephone. And how everything cannot be an instant message or an email. You know, that's where the comfort level is. So millennials, they are fantastic at feedback, at absorbing feedback and taking feedback and integrating. They have lots of ideas on how to improve things. They're hugely technologically savvy. So I like to think about how do we understand all the things that they bring into the workplace and then coach around some of the other behaviors that may get in the way. I also always ask millennials. It was interesting. I did a Caddyshack post on my blog 2 weeks ago. And it was interesting. We were having a conversation in the office, and Caddyshack came up, and 3 people on my team didn't know Caddyshack. And I thought, well, how can you not know Caddyshack? And then I was reminded that, you know, that it wasn't part of them growing up, and that for each of us, we should know and understand each of the core elements of the generations, of what's important. That it is important for us to know and understand millennials, how they're wired, how they think, what they watch, what they think about, and for them to do the same as well. So I think using some of the audience strategies, how do you get into their mindset is something that could be helpful as you think about millennials.